talking about the growing farm, I remember that you told me that we have a sort of shade-grown trees, right?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Yeah. But how did you find that it works perfect for trees, for coffee trees?
Well, it's like, okay, it's like if we're putting you in the sun, right? Put it as an example. And then you won't like it being in the sun. And it's also the plants, they're like it better, and the bean, it grows more healthy. Even if, it getting the same water and everything else, but it's not getting enough sun. The plant is reaching in for the sun into the shade, but the beans, they grow bigger and then they ripe slower. And then the open sun, the beans, they will get banged by the sun, and then they will grow smaller because something they got to do with it. They don't like to grow big in the sun. And then plus the water evaporates faster, and then in the shade, the plants, they grow. The water, the earth stays more wet, and then the water stays there, so the plants is more greener, more healthier. And how we find out, because over here in Budas, we started with this farm, and then we noticed that the guy that had planted, he left all the orchid trees. And so I said, wow, how come he left all the trees? And then down below, people just cut them all down and then plant coffee. But I look at the plants, and I look at these plants, and these plants, they were huge, big, 16 feet tall, and then plenty coffee and big beans. And then down below, small plants, the same type, but smaller plants, smaller beans, and the open sun. And then when we got the one over here, and they imagined we was gonna cut the macnuts, and I say no, we just plant the coffee in between the macnuts so it be in the shade. And then also the plants grew big, and then big beans. And then the Conaculana, now I'm trying to bring the shade. I'm planting avocados and citrus and all that stuff, so the plants, the coffee will have a different taste. And then down in Kona Gold Rum Company, there's already orchid trees, but I also planted more citrus in there, and the avocados, they were already there, so I'm planting coffee into the avocados. And then the coffee, it grows into the avocado, but it's getting big beans too in there. And then that's why the farm, it's already coming in the finals, and then they got the first place in the crown of the processing. The people like the coffee, and it looks good, and it tastes good too. So, it's just a little bit, something that you learn as you go on, like, okay, you need shade. You cannot be in the open sun and take the beating, and then, so the plants, they also like the shade. And then, things that when we started, and, we get that knowledge from the being in the shade. And I say, okay, so the plants, they don't like to be in the open sun. They like the shady. And so most people, like over here in Holualoa, the town, some people, they have like monkey pots, trees, and then they was gonna cut them, so now they're not cutting it. They just plant the coffee as under it, and it's good, because they don't like to be in the sun either. So yeah, and but it's like I said, you can taste all the different farms, and you can taste the difference in the cup, and it's every little detail that counts, and then you will put it in, into the cup, and then say, wow, okay, this is open sun, yeah, it's more better, more stronger or something, yeah.
And I noticed that the weather here changes a lot, because in the early morning we have pretty good sunshine, and then the wind and the clouds comes, and it becomes a little bit cloudy like this. Do you think the weather contributes a lot to coffee tree?
Yes, the weather is a lot. That's in the morning we get the sunrise, and then later we get the clouds, and then and then a little bit later we get the rain, and then but the weather keep on changing, and so that makes the coffee get riper slower. And so when the coffee it ripes slower, that means that it's gaining all the sugars that is on the bean, and so that and if it ripes fast, you would taste it like when you process the coffee, it'd be like a wooden coffee. It won't be this good. It won't, but the coffee then when you do the processing up here from the mountain, it's more juicy, and it's more the more sugars on it, and so that more slime and thicker skin, because all that counts on your cup. And at nighttime it gets cold, so that also helps the bean, that it goes into a colder temperature, it slows down the process of getting ripe.
How about the volcano soil? Is that good to coffee bean or bad to coffee bean?
No, it's good. Volcanic soil is what the whole island is made out of it, but it's like in Hilo, right? The coffee is good, but it's also it's a different taste because it's more like a lighter or different taste on it. But the volcanic soil up here in Kona is like everywhere you go, you see coffee growing under the rocks, so that the leaves fall down and it creates the nutrition for the plant also. And then plus when you feed the fertilizer, you have to make sure that everything is wet. And then because the rocks sweat at nighttime, because they've been so hot, right? And then they start sweating at night, and then that also keep them water for the plant to grow. And then that will make the plant to stay alive, because if the plant if the rock it was always hot, it won't stop. It will kill the plant. But because the rocks sweat, and it will make the plant grow. You pick up a rock, and even if it don't rain, you pick up a rock and it's wet under it. So it's also the doom, because the ocean, at nighttime, the wind at nighttime, it blows from the mountain down to the ocean, and then it gets down like about 8 o'clock or 7 something. The wind shifts from the ocean to the mountain.
Will the coffee get a little bit salty because of the wind?
Yeah, it gets the cold comes down,
Yeah.
and then and in the daytime the weather from the ocean comes in, and it's just like it gets a little bit of everything. That the ocean got a lot to do with it, and then but if people grow coffee down below, it's totally whole different story.
So we visited your natural ground, the sun-dried ground. You have several of them. And how long does it take to natural dry the bean?
Okay, the natural beans like this, if you just put them in there, it will take a month for these beans, because see what it is, when you pop it, you take the skin off, and it be the bean like that. That takes, you got to fermentate it, and then wash it, and then put it on the drying deck, and then that will take 7 to 10 days, depends on the weather. Like if it rain out, the sun is not out, the coffee is not getting dry. But you have to constantly rake it. I show you guys how I was raking it. But if you leave it in the shell like this, it will take a month, and all the sugars that you squeeze out of here, they go into the bean, and then your coffee, it will taste fruity. It will taste when you put it into your nose, you can smell it. That it's different, and then the taste is better. To me, it's better because it's not indescribable, because you don't know what you eating fruit, or you what kind of fruit you tasting, because it tastes different. Yeah.
So your natural dry takes longer time, almost 3 times longer than others
Yes.
sun dry. Right?
Yes.
Because you just put a whole bean under the ground and dried it naturally.
Yes. Yeah, because see, and then this it will take longer because you have to dry all the sugars in there.
So the one we saw this morning, the second one, that is all natural dry.
Yeah, it's natural dry, but this one is on parchment,
On parchment.
and then this one is cherry.
Yeah.
So the cherry takes longer to dry than the parchment.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So this morning you told us that when you plant different kind of fruit trees around the coffee beans, and then coffee tree will get a little bit taste of that.
Yeah, it will get like if it's next to a lemon, it will get the lemon taste, or the orange or whatever fruit the tree is by, that will distract your taste, because you say, wow, I taste lemon. Oh no, I taste orange. The other guy will say, oh no, I taste a lilikoi. You know, it will be like a star fruit. Okay, no, because you see the trees there, but you don't think that the tree is gonna come in and marry the other, and then bring the flavor to it.
But
And-
how did you find that?
Okay, experiencing like doing a little bit here and there, and then I say, wow, okay, I give it a different taste. Oh, I better put it more and more. And so, and here in Kona, they sell the trees, the citrus trees. They sell them more expensive. I go to Hilo. In Hilo, I buy them cheaper. The citrus there, and so I planted different, so the cup it be different. So you don't taste lemon. So you will taste the papaya, you will taste the tangerine, or you will taste the star fruit, or you will taste the macanat, or the lychee. You won't know. You will be totally distracted, and your head will go 100 miles an hour. Like, what is it I'm tasting? Like the other day, I'm tasting the lilikoi, and I didn't get to taste the lilikoi. I didn't get to describe the taste, so I went to the farm and I grabbed a lilikoi. I was hungry. So that's what I was tasting. So, you get the head working like you get to find out, what am I tasting? So,
Very good. We tried it. It's really good.
yeah.
What do you think would be your coffee philosophy?
Okay, the coffee philosophy is like you will never stop learning, because you always be trying something different, and then the competition is big, and then everybody's excited to compete and beat you. But to me, I say let them come. We were always learning. We can always learn from each other. But to me, when somebody win, I'm not jealous. I'm happy for them, because they finally got it. They finally, doing something that everybody want a taste, and then, then it's a big power for them, because they motivates people to win, and then the philosophy is like always trying to create the best cup, and then to me it's like over there in Hilo. I create my own cup by putting, when I used to pick coffee, I always put a coffee in my mouth and then squish it and then taste it. I said, no, this is too bitter. I don't want this. But I would still put the seed in my pocket. And then I say, okay, that one is, that's tasty. That's very sweet. So I put it in my mouth, put it in my pocket again. And so I come home with a bunch of seeds. And then I plant them all. And I said, okay, I will create one farm of different beans, and then I will mix it together. When I bring the coffee to my son say, hey, Dad, I say, what do you want me to do with this? I said, enter into the competition and see what they say. He say, hey, he called me old man. He say, hey, old man. He say, He said, who's going to come and get the trophy? I said, what trophy? He said, you won first place, man. I said, on what? He said, on Hilo Coffee. So that was the 2010, but I wanted that prize. I won it first, and then I come over here to Kona, and then another prize. I wasn't stunned with that. I mean, that is like the light, you just keep them sparkling, you know. So that was good. That was, you know, yeah. And then creating a new cup, something new, is what it motivates the farmer. And then people say, hey, I like your coffee. That's even, you know, you stand up more. I say, okay, I have to try harder next time. So that's good, yes.
Great.
Yeah, and it's awesome, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.